Okay, let's take a look at a mechanical example. This is some flange drawings, and you can see here what's called a tabulated drawing, which gives you pictures that are general and specific dimensions for different sizes of flanges. And so that's really good for engineers to be able to use. But if I want something that I can just pull in that's the right size as a block and use it in my drawing, I have to redraw this. And so we're going to do that. We're going to do a slip-on flange, which you see right here. We're going to do a lap joint flange. So that's where you slide it in and you weld it. A socket weld where you slide the pipe in and you do a little bit of a weld right here and a little bit of a weld right here. And then blind flanges, which you just bolt on to block a pipe. And I'll do this using the slip-on. So I've prepared myself. I've got a new drawing that I've called Flange Drawings. In the drawing, I've inserted an image. Now, I downloaded it as a PDF. And then I just opened it up and took a snip and saved an image of it. So I have an image of what I draw. And I put this little line in here so it's easy for me to see. I've also opened my mechanical exemplar. And from it, using the design center, I have into my flange drawing, I've brought in dim styles and layers and a mechanical A layout. So you can see I've got all my layers in, and I have my dim styles all in here. I have all the dim styles that I might use. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and draw this now. And I've also I've just made a box that's on the def points layer, so that I know about where to place my drawings. Okay, so I'll know about where to place them so that it'll fit on the Mech A. And so I put it so that it fits in this area. So I've got myself set up. I have a drawing that I can use. And so on the geometry layer, let me do some on the construction layer first. I see I can draw this rectangle. I'll have to do some trimming, but a main part of this is a rectangle, and it's O 7.5 by T 0.94. I see the O up there, and I read down, and I see the T up there, and I read down. So a 7.5 by 0.94. And right off the bat, I see that this is I'm going to have to draw this bigger. So I'm going to get rid of that. And I'll have to do some scale when I put it on here because it's just not big enough. Okay, but that's got that thing. And then there's something that sticks down. Let's see, it's hard to read what that stick down number is. But I think it's it's not the L. I think it's the little r. The little r dimension. Let's see if I can find. Oh no, it's actually 1/16. So 1/16 sitting down, and by the big R, which is 5. So now I can draw another one. 5 by 1/16, and I can type 1/16. And I can move that. So do I have my center points, my midpoints set up? No, let's turn on midpoints. So now I've got that thing drawn. And now I go up L, and then it's by X. Okay, so I can do that. There's a few ways that I can go about doing that. I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to go up the L dimension, which over here I see is 1.19. And then I'm going to do X. So it doesn't stick up a lot. X is 4.25. 4.25. 4.25. And now I can move that so that the center point is on there. Notice I didn't do any adding or subtracting. I just used the numbers that were given to me, and maybe had to do a little bit of extra drawing. Okay, but I tend to do that because I accidentally type things in wrong when I add and subtract, and this way I didn't have to do any adding and subtracting. And now I can go B across. B is 3.57. And I can move that into place. And now I can draw my hidden lines. And I can either mirror that or draw it again. So now I've got something that I can kind of draw all that. But now I've got this weird thing. I've got these holes. Let's see what it says about the holes. It says there are 4 holes, 0.75 diameter on a 6-inch bolt circle. Well, I can use my same idea. A bolt circle means that there's a diameter. They're sitting on a diameter of 6. Okay, so that's the center line. And the diameter is 0.75. So here's how I like to do it. You don't have to do it this way. Now I know where that goes because I can. That's where it would be if I were looking down on it. Where's my quadrant? There it is. And I can just grab that grip and draw it down. And I probably want to, now I will use a mirror command. So you don't have to do it this way, but it's a way to do it. So now I've got something that pretty much looks like it. I can go into my geometry now and trace it. And just because I want to practice a new command, I'm going to go ahead and do the mirror command on that, just so I get to practice, and then I can attach that up at the top and at the bottom. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And now I think I can, for now, turn off. I think I've got it. Looks pretty much like it, but now I need that sectioning. Sectioning, I don't really have a thing for it set up, so I can make a new layer for it. So there's a new layer called section lines. And those, I see I forgot to do something here. I forgot to set my line weights to inches. So let's set up a new layer again, section lines. And those can be something light, like 0.012. And now my section command. And it's this ANSI 32 that you would use. Those look a little heavy. Let's see what layer I'm on. Oh, I put them on the geometry layer. Let's go to our properties and change that from geometry to section lines. There, I've got the thing drawn. So then it says make an appropriate right view. So I need to move this. Actually, I think I'm going to make that an appropriate top view. No, I'll make it a right view, but to do that, I think I'm going to rotate this. Just makes more sense to me, because then my circle will fit better. Okay, so how do we make a right view? Let's go back to our construction lines. And then a flange is a circle. These are all diameters. Okay. And didn't do that very well. Let me do the rotate of everything. Rotate that 90 degrees. And so I'm gonna have everything on some sort of a circle over here. And it's kind of cool because I can go let me get my circle radius. That should have been a radius. And I can just kind of click up there. And I've got that one. Oh, that's so cool. Except I'm not doing the most careful job of this as I'm clicking. I have a hard time clicking while I'm talking. Sort of like chewing gum and walking at the same time. So those are the things I would see: the inside, the outside, and this little raised face. And then I know there's going to be 4 holes. And there's going to be one there, and that one's going to be a 0.75 diameter. So there we go. Let's put those now all on the geometry layer. And then I remember there's going to be 4 of these. So that maybe I can do that array command. Polar array of that item about this midpoint and change this to 4. There we go. And let's make geometry my normal. So there we go. I've got my section view. I have a right side view. And now I need to show these in here somehow. Okay, and so I'm going to change this name to slip-on. And it's a 3-inch slip-on. And I didn't do that very well. I don't know why that's not letting me get out of that command. There it goes. It didn't like the inch symbol. Okay, and we'll go again to our def points layer and this layout thing and see what we can see. Bring that to there. Probably a 1 to 4 maybe. Let's try a 1 to 2. That looks pretty good. And I remember that there were some blocks to bring in. Some general notes to place. And some bill of materials stuff to put in here. Sorry, not bill of material, the revision. There. And I might want to put in a few, oops, I did all that on the def points layer so it wouldn't plot if I did them. Got to be careful about that. Those belong on text layer. There we go. And so now let's go to the dim text. I always get stuff on the wrong layer. Let's just put a couple of dimensions on so that we know that we've got this right. And, oh, we don't need 4 decimal places. Let's use fractions. Actually, let's see what they use in the... They use mostly 1 or 2 decimal places. So let's use 2 decimal places. So this way I can get some of the major items so that somebody could see that I've got it right. There, somebody could tell very quickly that I've got everything right here. I can even put some dimensions on here. This one is small enough that I might decide to put it down here inside. Don't often do that. And that one was listed as fractional. So let's make that one a fractional. Somehow I've got it was 1/8 and I think I was looking for 1/16. I might have that off. Or my fractional might be to the nearest eighth, because it said 0.06. Let's leave that as 0.06. And we can do a linear there. I believe I've got everything identified so somebody could go back to the table to make sure that I've got this right. So I'd better do a save. The last thing it says to do is to make a block out of each view. That way somebody can use those in a drawing, some other drawing. Let me show you how to do that. You can either go to the Insert tab and create a block, or you could just type block. And we'll give this a name. This is slip on 3 section. So now I have to pick a point that when I put this in another drawing, it'll line that point up with my mouse. And so that's often like a midpoint. So I'll use this midpoint back here. I have to select my objects. There they are. Enter. And I'm going to just type this retain. Otherwise, it's going to turn it into a block itself. Now, we'll leave this as convert to a block. We'll just leave that. And I can click OK. Let's look and see the blocks now. There it is. There's a slip-on 3 section. Okay, and so now we'll do a slip-on 3 block. I don't know what you would want to call this. We'll call it a face. I'm looking at the face of it. And of course, this one, I think I'd like to pick that center point. Select my lines, enter, and OK. There it is. Slip on face. So now I can use those should I feel like it. So there we go. That's what you're going to do. Now, draw your next one. Watch what I'm going to do to get my next layout. Right click on the layout, move or copy, and I want to make that one and create a copy of it. Okay, then I can get rid of all this. And I'm ready for another one. So whatever my next one will be, lap joint. And that's where my next one will go. And I can start drawing my lap joint anywhere because I'll just use my viewport to find it again. Okay? There we go. That is an example for your mechanical drawing set of the flange drawings.